I gripped the steering wheel of my truck until my knuckles whitened, staring at the weathered sign marking the entrance to Morris Ranch. Snow drifted lazily in my headlights. Another February storm settling over Parlin like a shroud. Fitting, given I felt like I was driving to my own funeral. The envelope from the attorney lay crumpled on the passenger seat, its contents burned in my mind. Go to Morris Ranch. Stay 1 year. Save it or lose everything. The words of our family attorney, Sixpack, who'd read the codicil, echoed in my head. 365 days. No absences longer than 48 consecutive hours, or my siblings and I lose everything, including the Roaring Fork, my family's legacy. All because of one vindictive asshole, my father, whose plot for revenge changed what might have been a happy family. Maybe if the son of a bitch had faced an early death rather than my mother, we could have been. But it wasn't him dictating where and how I'd spend the next year of my life. No, it was a nameless, faceless trustee who hid behind a ghost trust filed in New Mexico, one of the few remaining states that allowed the legal document to be written in such a way that the trustee's identity remained protected. He or she controlled my fate, and that of my siblings. I was the third who'd had to adhere to another of the trust's codicils or we'd lose everything. The ranch, the Roughstock business I'd built, which was finally turning a profit. But more importantly, our heritage. I couldn't be the one who allowed that to happen. The irony wasn't lost on me that I was once again sacrificing myself, keeping secrets to protect others. How long had I held on to the truth about my oldest brother, Buck? Since I was 8 years old, when my drunk father, Roscoe, had used it to justify his cruelty. Secrets had a way of snowballing in my family, each one gathering weight until they threatened to bury us all. That wasn't the only secret pressing against my conscience. The second was the truth of what had happened the night Maverick Morris came close to losing his life. Somehow, that nameless, faceless fucker of a trustee who was determining our collective destiny found out about the accident, the one that had nearly destroyed a family. Not mine, but the Morrises, what was left of them. I scrubbed my face with my hand as Maverick's words echoed in my head for the 1,000th time. Promise me you won't tell my sister. It'll destroy her. The kid had been barely conscious, so much so he didn't recall anything from that night. Blood had been streaming from a gash in his forehead, his leg bent at an impossible angle. I'd given him my vow that night, knowing it could cost me everything. But what it would have cost him was far greater. The kid was only 17. Now, here I was, about to face her, the woman who'd once said she loved me, but now hated me with every fiber of her being. Not that I blamed her. As far as Cece knew, I was the drunk driver who had nearly killed her only remaining family. The ranch house loomed ahead, a single light burning in an upstairs window despite the early hour. I cut my engine, listening to it tick in the pre-dawn silence. The forecast called for 8 inches of snow, and I needed to get the lay of the land before the storm hit in earnest. I grabbed my duffel from the back seat and forced myself to walk toward the house, my boots crunching on the frozen gravel. Better to face Cece now and get the inevitable confrontation over with. Movement caught my eye, a figure in the barn's doorway. Even in the dim light, I recognized Cece's stance and the defiant tilt of her chin. She had a rifle propped against her shoulder. "That's far enough, Wheaton."
I slammed the farmhouse door behind me, my hands shaking as I peeled off my snow-crusted coat. Damn Porter Wheaton. Damn him for showing up here. Damn him for saving Thundercloud. And damn him most of all for reminding me of how things used to be. The kitchen was dark and cold. I hadn't bothered relighting the wood stove when I saw his truck approaching. Now, I crouched in front of it, willing my fingers to stop trembling long enough to get a fire started. "Cece?" Maverick's voice came from the doorway. "I heard voices outside. Was—" He stopped when he saw my face, squared his shoulders, and continued. "Was that Porter Wheaton I saw headed into the bunkhouse?" I nodded, not trusting my voice. The kindling finally caught, and I added larger pieces of wood, anything to avoid looking at my brother. "What's he doing here?" I rolled my shoulders, wishing I had more time to come up with a story to cover what was really happening to our ranch. "I'll go talk to him." Mav's crutches clicked against the wooden floor as he moved farther into the kitchen. He didn't need them all the time, mainly when he was worn out, which had been happening more frequently lately. "No!" The word came out sharper than I'd intended. I stood facing him. "You're not going anywhere near him." Maverick's face darkened. At 17, he was trying so hard to be a man, to carry his share of the burden. But I saw the pain in his eyes every time he looked at his mangled leg and saw his dreams of bull riding championships dying a little more each day. "I can handle myself," he muttered. "I know you can." I softened my tone. "But Porter Wheaton is not coming within 50 feet of you. Not after what he did." Something flickered across Mav's face. Guilt, maybe, or fear. But it was gone so quickly I might have imagined it. "Why is he here?" he asked a second time. I sighed, wishing I could shield my brother from this news. But Porter being here made that impossible.